Years ago, Olivia and my wife, Sophia, had both found out they were pregnant. But after my brother Ethan's tragic death, Olivia had made the choice to keep his child. I had always been very close to my brother. So, to support Olivia, Sophia and I did everything for her. Prenatal checkups, the C-section, pregnancy supplements, postpartum care, and even the baby clothes. All of it was paid for by me. But it was that money that gave Olivia the wrong idea. She couldn't stand that my son was born into wealth, while her child, without a father, would have to scrape by. So, she hatched the plan to swap the babies. Helen knew all about it, and didn't lift a finger to stop it. In fact, she even helped with the swap. She'd always favored my brother. Once the plan was in motion, they worried that the truth might come out, so they staged my son's death to make it look natural. That way, they could move into our house and take care of the child without anyone getting suspicious. That's when I realized that the child who died all those years ago was my real son. All these years, I'd been raising someone else's kid, and they turned him into an ungrateful monster and a murderer. My soul was consumed with fury. I could only watch as they laughed, oblivious to what they had done, before I was swallowed up by darkness. Filled with rage, I opened my eyes again. Olivia was still going on, her voice full of pride. David, I'm so grateful. If it weren't for you, I can't even imagine how we'd get through the C-section and postpartum care in such a fancy hospital. Ethan's probably looking down on us right now, so proud. Sophia, ever calm, simply smiled. It's nothing. We're family. Olivia's eyes flashed with envy. Sophia, you're so lucky to have such a great husband. That's when I realized I had been reborn. I had returned to the day Sophia was going in for her C-section. Despite the fury bubbling inside me, I managed to calm myself. After all, nothing had happened yet. I quickly realized that the baby swap must have taken place right after the C-section. The postpartum center had private rooms for each mother, so there was no chance of babies being switched there. And once we got home, there would be obvious differences in the babies' appearances. If they had swapped them, it would have been easy to spot. With that in mind, I forced a smile. Olivia, don't say that. Since you decided to keep Ethan's child, it's only right that I help you out. Get some rest. You'll be the first to go in for your C-section. Olivia's eyes were fixed on Sophia's belly, a look of determination on her face. In my past life, I'd been too excited to be a dad to notice any of this. I pretended I didn't notice and waited until Olivia was taken into the operating room. Helen quickly followed. As soon as they were out of sight, I turned to Sophia. Sophia, let's head home. I've been thinking, and I agree with you. It's better for you to have a natural birth. Huh? Why? Didn't you want us to have a C-section the same day as Olivia? Sophia asked, clearly puzzled. Despite her confusion, she still sat up with my help. Actually, Sophia's due date was still a few days away, but because Olivia kept talking about the benefits of a C-section, Sophia had agreed to go along with it. I knew if I said I had been reborn, they'd think I was losing my mind. I also realized that even if I swapped the babies after birth, they could get angry and hurt my real son. The best way was to have the births happen separately, so there would be no chance of a swap, and my child would stay safe. After much internal debate, I finally left the hospital. James, Sophia's father, driving, looked at me and asked, David, why aren't we going ahead with the C-section? This doctor was hard to book. I stammered, trying to cover my tracks. Sophia didn't want a C-section at first. She preferred a natural birth. It was only today that I realized this might be better. Sophia nodded. Actually, I've always wanted a natural birth. It was Olivia who kept saying a C-section on the same day would be more meaningful, and David thought it'd be better if we did it together. Clara, Sophia's mother, spoke up, addressing James. We'll support whatever the young couple decides. If Sophia wants a natural birth, then that's what she'll get. Got it. Pregnancy is tough enough without having to deal with this nonsense, she added, her tone sharp. We didn't mean anything by it. We were just asking, James explained, clearly uncomfortable. Clara huffed. People without a uterus shouldn't be making decisions about this stuff. James was quick to apologize. Clara hugged Sophia, her voice soft and reassuring. Don't worry, Sophia. We'll back whatever you decide. If your father says something ridiculous, just ignore him. I didn't say anything, just kept busy on the phone, reaching out to a friend to ask about the best hospital for a natural birth. Their words really made me feel a lot better, and I could finally breathe a sigh of relief. After grabbing a quick bite, James dropped us off at the building and waited until we were safely inside the elevator before heading off. Before stepping out of the car, Clara turned to Sophia and spoke again, her voice gentle but firm. Sophia, you've still got some time. A couple of extra days won't hurt. The choice is yours. Whatever you decide, we'll support you. I knew she was really talking to me, so I quickly spoke up. Don't worry, Clara. Sophia's due date isn't for a few more days. I'll make sure we go with whatever she wants. Clara finally seemed to feel reassured and left. As soon as we got inside the door, I froze. Come on in. There's still some soup left. David, why don't you go and bring some to Sophia? Helen called out as she served Olivia a bowl of chicken soup. Olivia's belly was huge, yet she still hadn't gone into labor. Olivia took a sip of the soup, looking a bit uneasy. I was all set to get onto the delivery bed when I overheard the nurses say you changed your mind about the C-section. So, I got right off the bed and came back home. Helen wasn't nearly as calm. Her face darkened, and she shot me a look. David, just hearing about this makes me so mad. You hired the doctor, and now your wife's backing out, leaving your sister-in-law hanging. What were you thinking? Olivia quickly tried to smooth things over. Maybe David didn't mean any harm. I mean, I was already in the operating room when everything got called off. But now everything's fine. Helen, don't be mad at him, okay? If this had happened in my previous life, I might have thought Olivia was just sticking up for me. But now that I'd lived through it all, if I bought her excuse, I'd be an absolute fool. I scoffed, arms crossed. Sophia always wanted a natural birth. You were the one who insisted it would be more meaningful if the babies were born on the same day. I was just trying to make her feel better. And let's be real, Sophia's due date isn't even here yet. So what's the big deal with changing plans? Helen's eyes narrowed, and she practically stormed up to me, her finger practically jabbing at my face. What do you think you're doing, talking to Olivia like that? She's pregnant, David. You're freaking her out. Sophia, clearly startled, moved to step in, but I quickly put myself between them, my expression serious. Mom, Sophia's pregnant too. Don't you think you're scaring her? That shut her up, and she couldn't say another word. With an irritated huff, she turned away. I took the chance to continue. Olivia, we got you the best doctor available. If you want a C-section, I'll get it sorted. But if you're not into it, you'll have to figure it out yourself. Either way, Sophia's going with a natural birth. The moment Sophia decided to go for a natural birth, Olivia panicked. While I was in the kitchen, she grabbed Sophia and practically hissed, Sophia, don't listen to those men. He just wants to avoid a C-section because he's worried you won't be able to have another baby for years. He's playing you like a puppet. Helen, not bothering to hold back anymore, jumped in. Exactly. Natural births are brutal. You could tear, have to get an episiotomy, or even risk uterine prolapse. It's gonna hurt like a, you know what. Sophia, already stressed, was firm in her belief that natural birth was best. She shot back, a bit more impatient than usual. Look, whether it's a C-section or a natural birth, it's my decision. If you think C-sections are the way to go get one yourselves. Stop making it about me. The two of them were ready to retort, but Sophia kept going. If you think David's doctor is no good, then go find one you like. I'm not the one with the problem here. It was the first time Sophia had spoken to them like this, and they both froze, completely caught off guard. They didn't know how to respond. Meanwhile, my heart ached. How could I have failed to protect such a wonderful wife? In my past life, I'd let the wolves in. Helen, trying to save face, forced a smile. It's all for your own good. I'm your mother-in-law. I'm not out to harm you. You're carrying my grandchild, for goodness sake. I rolled my eyes internally. Since Sophia was clearly exhausted, I stepped in and gestured for them to leave. All right, you two should head home. Sophia needs some rest. Olivia, with a devilish gleam in her eye, slapped her hand on her belly and said, Sophia, how about Helen and I stay with you for a few days? Your place is closer to the hospital, and if anything happens, it'll be easier for us to help. Helen didn't quite know what Olivia's real game was, but she immediately agreed, nodding like a bobblehead. Right, your place has extra rooms. I can take care of both of you while I'm at it. Oh, and remember that sauerkraut fish you mentioned craving? I'll make it for you tomorrow. I still remembered the first time Sophia got pregnant and had a sudden craving for Helen's sauerkraut fish. I called Helen, begging her to come stay with us and cook for Sophia. Helen had nearly lost her mind with that one. Are you out of your mind? Your sister-in-law's alone, and your wife has her entire family waiting on her. Now you want me to drop everything and come help. I didn't know how to respond. I hadn't even mentioned inviting Olivia over, and now I could see where this was headed. They were obviously planning to use this time to pressure Sophia into having a C-section and continue with their baby planning scheme. There was no way I was letting them stay in my house. Nope, we're not used to having other people living with us. Helen's face went red. What do you mean other people? I'm your mother. I carried you for 9 months and raised you. This is your sister-in-law, and she's carrying your brother's child. That's our bloodline. This is my house, and you've both got homes to go to. Why do you need to stay here? I threw open the door with a grand gesture, as if saying, the exit's that way. If you think the place is too far from the hospital, stay at a hotel. Olivia exchanged a knowing look with Helen, and then, without warning, Helen flopped to the floor dramatically. Oh, look at your son, living the high life while I'm stuck sleeping under a bridge. Ethan, take me and your wife and your kid away with you. I can't survive this. I was finally getting what it felt like when reason went out the window. Sophia rushed out, trying to defuse the situation. All right, they can stay. David's just super stressed. I'll have him get the guest rooms ready for you. Helen, as if flipping a switch, jumped up from the floor, grinning like a Cheshire cat. Perfect. I'll stay right next to Olivia. For the next few days, no matter how Olivia and Clara tried to talk Sophia into changing her mind, whether with sweet words or sharp criticism, I made sure Sophia didn't even bat an eye. She had already done her homework on the whole natural birth versus C-section debate, so she wasn't going to budge. Olivia's face was getting darker by the minute, but honestly, what could she do? She couldn't exactly knock Sophia out and drag her off for a C-section. Every day, I kept track of when Olivia would go into labor. No matter what, I wasn't going to let her and Sophia end up giving birth on the same day. Finally, the day came when Olivia's water broke. She rushed over to me, panic written all over her face. David, quick, call an ambulance. My water just broke. I looked down at the puddle of water on the floor and didn't move an inch. Clara immediately sprang into action, grabbing things and dialing for help. Seeing me stand there like a statue, she yelled, "What's wrong with you? Olivia's water just broke. Can't you see that?" Sophia pushed me. "Come on, David, grab the hospital bag and get Olivia to the hospital now." I sighed heavily, barely able to hide my annoyance, and grabbed the bag, trudging downstairs. As soon as I got downstairs, Clara was calling me. "Hurry up. Sophia's about to have the baby too." That was impossible. Sophia still had a week to go before her due date, and her last checkup didn't show any signs she was ready to give birth. No way, Olivia and Clara must have done something to rush Sophia into labor early. I slapped myself in frustration. How could I let Sophia be alone with those two? I should have known better. Chaos erupted, and in the end, Sophia couldn't deliver naturally because of complications with bleeding, so she had to go for a C-section. Our son was born. But when everything calmed down and I looked at the baby in the bassinet, I felt like the world had just dropped out from under me. This wasn't my baby. This was Evan. The babies had been swapped. I was so angry I could have fainted, but I knew I had to keep my cool. It must have happened while I was busy running around taking care of the bills. Clara and James were too distracted by Sophia to pay attention, and that's when Olivia and Clara made their move. Of course, I couldn't completely blame them. Who would have ever thought Clara would go that far? Sophia, looking a little pale but trying to comfort me, said, "It's all my fault. I was careless and tripped. I wasn't sure if she was trying to make me feel better or if she really had forgotten what happened, but I just gave her a reassuring nod. Clara, sounding more than a little irritated, said, Sophia is about to give birth, and you're running around like a madman. What exactly is your plan here? James grabbed Clara's hand, hushing her. Quiet, Clara. Sophia's sister-in-law is still asleep. I turned and saw Olivia, looking peaceful with a little smile, fast asleep. Since I'd handled everything for the babies, they were both wearing the exact same clothes, with identical things. As I thought about the postpartum center coming up, I started to form a plan. I acted clueless, doting on Evan like he was my own. Neither Clara nor Olivia suspected anything. When Clara took Olivia for her checkup, I swapped the babies back. As I did, Sophia couldn't help but ask, David, what the hell are you doing? I glanced at the door, putting on a calm expression. Sophia, trust me. Don't say anything yet. I promise I'll explain everything. Just don't tell anyone. Sophia's eyes flickered between the two babies, clearly puzzled, but she nodded slowly, still not fully understanding.